Can we just ask, to kind of test how much people have been, how do I put this? I'm trying to convince people that they have been persuaded by a dishonest media, okay? And what if I ask them things like this? Does it trouble you that everything the Republicans predicted about Obamacare has come true? I mean, seriously, all of it. Every last aspect of their predictions have come true. Does that trouble you? Okay. Global warming, does it trouble you that the global warming skeptics were mocked a decade ago, and now virtually every prediction of the global warming advocates has not come true?
The thing is, though, Andy, it's just that going back to that deluge of media, if you're talking about somebody who is entrenched, you're lying. This is going back to that selective truth. What you're saying, what you're talking about, oh, that's not true. That's not reality. That's not the real stuff. That's not the actual news. That's propaganda. That's stuff that's being pushed out by right-wing sources for their own gain.
Well, I know, but that's why I put it in that way. Does it trouble you? Because I want them to disagree, because now they've done something they never want to do. They've engaged. Okay, and at that point I look at them and say, oh, okay, so you think that's all from right-wing media, yada, yada. Great, let's go fact for fact then. Let's toss out the media and go fact for fact on these things. Now they're dead.
Except for the thing, the problem goes back to, if you can't agree on what the facts are, and that's the crux of this and specifically about the Michael Brown situation, the facts that we have seen come out of the grand jury trial, and the facts, quote unquote, that are being basically thrown out as facts, that hands up, don't shoot, that sort of stuff. They're not the same thing. They are not the same facts. They're completely different sets of situations. Only one of them has been vetted through grand jury trial, and so we can say that our facts are the real facts and the better facts, but they're also going to say that our facts are the real facts and the better facts.
And doesn't it go back to that whole thing about lying and the cost of lying? You can build an entire narrative if it fits the way that you want to say something, and you have your own facts, whether it's the hockey stick graph of the whole business with the global warming, or whether it's Michael Brown, whatever it is, there's not a downside to doing it, because what do you still see in places like Ferguson where things like this have happened? You still see people committed to a narrative regardless of some legal process that happened, and what the conversation turns to is the legal process is obviously flawed because it didn't give me the outcome I wanted. And that is where you pivot, and it becomes the facts are the facts only if they agree with my worldview.
And people are so invested in their story that you're never going to bring them off of it. Just like you're never going to bring people off of their love for Obama, because there's a certain segment of the population that is so invested in him. Their entire lives are invested in his success. And they will make sure that happens, and they will accept any version of what they can consider a fact in order to make it true. They start and end with the narrative. Yeah, and the facts change.
But Obama's teetering.
True. Thank God.
Well, look, he has become an anchor for his party, and the drubbing is going to get worse. The article that I'm working on right now, I know I keep saying this, sorry, it'll probably be coming out tomorrow. I know, but it's not quite done. It's going to go into the desperation that the Democrats face. They must score big in 2016.
But here's the thing, too. You're talking about Obama's numbers. That's an isolated thing from an ongoing narrative investment that people have. And where Obama intersects with stories and narratives, you find that is not necessarily the case, that he's finding the peel-off on an issue. Now, overall, performance-wise, yeah, I think people are suffering from the 6-year term sort of thing. He's not novel anymore. There is a segment of the population that is invested deeply in his successful narrative being forwarded. But for the most part, everything you're going to see going forward, in my opinion, is going to be the separation, sort of like, the rocket separating from the capsule, boosting the narrative up to a certain point, and then they have to let him go, because if they're wedded and stuck together, the whole thing explodes in the end. So you'll find stories that are being advanced that have very little to do with the president or federal policy or things like that, and it will become more of a focus on what a state might be doing wrong, or what a county might be doing wrong, or what the legal process might be doing wrong. I think that's a skillful pivot that the left is attempting to make in order to get issues separated from the president's performance.
Because progressivism has to be saved.
Who pays the price when Lena Dunham lies about, or makes up a story maybe, about whether she was raped or not at college? Who's going to pay the price for that? And then when you look at Al Sharpton, Tawana Brawley, did he pay a price for that?